Emma, hi, lovely to see you. I've got some questions here from some of the midwives here at Sussex. I'm just going to kick straight off and ask you to introduce yourself and tell us where you were before and what you were doing.
Hi, hello, my name's Emma Chambers. I'm the newly appointed Director of Midwifery at Sussex. Previously I worked at East Sussex Healthcare, which is Hastings and Eastbourne hospitals, as Head of Midwifery.
Great, and you arrived a few weeks ago. What have you been up to since you started?
Lots of meeting new people, meeting the clinical teams in each of the units. I've had some really lovely visits to each of the units, and trying to meet with some of the community teams as well, and have arranged some meetings with the community teams via Teams in the next few weeks. But also working a lot around the CQC action plan and developments within the service, and speaking with the exec team about their priorities for the service moving forward as well.
Brilliant. Now, we haven't had a Director of Midwifery before, so what's the purpose of the role?
So the role came as a response to the Ockenden report, which clearly said that we should meet the requirements of the RCM manifesto, and that included a Director of Midwifery for each trust. The role is to have direct exposure to board, to have really good conversations with the executive team, to be able to escalate very quickly to the executive team and celebrate successes within the service as well. So the executive team are very clear and aware of what's going on within maternity services. It's to provide real transparent reporting around our services, and to be able to meet with the executive team frequently so they understand the needs of the service.
So Emma, how are you splitting your time between the 4 sites?
So my aim is to visit each site each week, and I'm able to do that most of the time. Sometimes I have to be in face-to-face meetings on a particular site, but I am trying to be at each site each week. And during that time I do try to get to the clinical units as well and spend a bit of time with staff working in the units.
Great. And how are you communicating with teams, or how are you going to communicate with the teams?
My plan is to do a regular video diary to update you all on what's happening within the service, celebrations, developments within the service around workforce and staffing and changes, and to really keep you updated on what's going on. I'm also running the weekly listening events, often attended by the chief nurse as well, so that we can have a really frank conversations about what matters to you. You can escalate any issues you have, and it's a really safe space to bring up whatever you feel you want to talk about at that time. And I will also be contributing to the existing newsletters as well.
Great. And what are your key objectives for your first 3 to 6 months in the role?
I think my first priority is to try and address the workforce issues that are within the service currently. There's a huge amount of work going on in the background around improving the workforce capacity, and a lot of the initiatives we are starting to see becoming successful, such as the Golden Hello and the Refer a Friend. We're seeing new midwives come into the service due to those initiatives. There's also a lot of work going on around workforce planning and trying to make sure that teams are in the right place at the right time, so that there's enough capacity. But I know currently it doesn't feel like that, and it takes a long time for these changes to happen. It's been an incredibly difficult time within maternity services nationally, particularly over the last 8 to 10 months. And I know you've all been working in very difficult circumstances at times, and we're doing an awful lot of work in the background to try and improve that.
How much involvement will you have with the obstetric team, including clinical protocols?
So I will be meeting with the obstetric team during their regular consultant meetings as well as ad hoc meetings. And certainly midwifery input into clinical guidance is really important to provide holistic care to women and people throughout their journey with us. So I do feel midwifery input is essential in those.
Great. And what long-term vision or plan do you have?
I think long-term, very much development of the workforce, development of specialist roles within the service to give midwives development opportunities, and also very much a priority for me, because of my background, is around midwife-led facilities within the service. So I'll very much, once we're in a more stable position with our workforce, that will become a priority to look at the facilities we offer and the choices that we offer to women and people using our service.
So Emma, how can our midwifery and maternity colleagues reach you if they want to say hello or if they want to raise concerns?
So I'm really happy to be directly approached while I'm on the units. Please do come and say hello. It's really nice to chat to you and hear your feelings about the service and what your priorities are. So please do come and say hello. Please don't expect me to remember your name because I'm hopeless at remembering names, particularly with the masks. Please do come and say hello. And I'm very happy for you to email me direct as well. My email address is emmachambers2@nhs.net. It would be really nice to meet you.
Thank you. And what would you really like to say to midwives and maternity colleagues across UH Sussex?
I've been so impressed with everybody I've met during my first few weeks here. I've been made to feel incredibly welcome. It's quite a daunting prospect coming to a very large organisation in a newly merged organisation with so much change and challenge. But I've really been made to feel very welcome, and I really thank you for that. And the other thing is I'd really like to commend you all for the high quality care that you've been providing despite the issues that you've been dealing with over the last few months and actually over the last couple of years. The outcomes for women and people and babies using our service are still incredibly good, and you should all be really, really proud of that as a team. The Ockenden report, as you know, the first report came out in 2020, and we've been working on the recommendations from that since then, and we're making real progress with those recommendations. The new report came out yesterday. There are further immediate and essential actions that are required from that report, and we'll be quickly convening a multidisciplinary team to review those and benchmark where we are in our services. And once we've done that, we'll share that information with you so that you're aware of what the requirements are and what we need to do to meet those. It's a difficult time for maternity services. We're very much in the spotlight at the moment, but I think we've got to hold on to the fact, as I said earlier, that the outcomes and the appreciation of care from women and people and families is really high within this trust, and we're doing a really good job. There are things we need to do to develop the services and improve some aspects of the service, but we know what we need to do, we know where our gaps are, and we'll get there.